Oh, that countdown clock. 3, 2, 1. Shot is off. Oh, it's a high bouncer. Knicks have got to wait a minute. Knicks upset. Knicks, wait a minute. We're going to OT. What a roller coaster of a night it was in. It was in New York, and hopefully we got a roller coaster of an episode for you. Back again with the 10 count on the RBV. Richard Brunson Vickery, as joined always on the other side of the screen by John Paz. Paz, I know you're a San Antonio Spurs man, but what a wild night it was for Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals up there in New York.
I'm definitely rooting for the Knicks, and I was rooting for the Knicks, but man, that was a crazy game. I know I have a conspiracy theory friend of mine who thinks there's magnets in the ball and the rim, and that's what helped the Pacers. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I think that might be a little nutty. The only thing was that Halliburton shot. That was crazy because it looked like there's no way it was going in, and then bounced right in. That obviously is to me pure luck, but just crazy that they came back. Naismith went nuts, 8 of 9 from 3. What a freaking game! I can't believe they blew that lead. I know a lot of people lost money on that game. Jeez,
right? We got
3 minutes left. You're up 14. It's over. Nope, not when the guy hits 5 3-pointers in a row. It's not over. Crazy.
Well, hey, what a great jumping point, because it is our lead conversation, and it is the NBA goes WWE. Even heading into this thing, partner up with each other. We've seen the interviews with Pat Mack and Michael Cole. We saw the references going back to 1 year ago when the Pacers and Knicks hooked up in the semifinals for the Eastern Conference, and in their participation on SmackDown. We've got the commemorative T-shirts available over at www.shop.com. But the game itself, Paz, what do you want? You had big time superstars. You had storytelling. You had connection. You had big time spots all over that game. You had kick out finishes and an unbelievable 1, 2, 3. It wasn't even. It was like an Iron Man where we're tied up after that 60 minutes, and we got to go to overtime to finally decide this thing. As you said, a roller coaster of a ride. Total emotions just energizing throughout New York City. Big Ray, our good friend Big Ray Hernandez, he was there. He was up the nosebleeds. Way up the nosebleeds. I'm just thankful by that time that thing wasn't over that he didn't find a way out there and jump off the top of Madison Square Garden, because I knew where his heart. He was all over.
That was a brutal loss. If you're a Knicks fan, my God, that was a brutal loss. If you think about it, though, too, if you really watch the game in overtime, there was a goaltending call that they didn't make that basically was a 5-point swing that turned the game around and really kind of definitely won the game for the Pacers in overtime. Just, I don't know if a lot of people noticed that or mentioned that, but man, nothing was working in the Knicks.
You guys up in that Northeast, man, you New Jersey, New York types, you guys were making these excuses now. And you're saying
just throwing that one out there. Just throwing out there.
You're rooting for the team in the backyard, but hey, I'm over here. Midwest is the best, baby. We're rooting for the heart and soul up there. Indianapolis representing the Midwest at its finest. Hey, Pacers, man. Shocking the world. Come back, kids. You can't keep them down. You can't count them out.
It is crazy that you could be up 14 and doesn't matter if you got Halliburton back there, you got Naismith. I mean, man, they're going to be a hard out. I think the Pacers are going to win the series now, especially after that game. I don't know how you can come back from this. I know you can win a couple games. I don't know how you can come back from this. I think the Pacers are going to win, even though I want the Knicks. I just think the Pacers have it.
Well, you said fans on both sides, man. They are absolutely loving this, man. Eating it up.
And it's great for WB.
Energy.
Great for WB because Brunson, Halliburton, and Josh Hart wants in now too. WB, so great for them.
They're going to be tying into it. We're talking about those fans. We're talking about that interaction, that energy. Positive. So let's switch gears to maybe how fans shouldn't be acting. And we got this recent story here. Paige takes to social media. Paige, Soraya, however you want to go with it there, of AEW, formerly of AEW, formerly of WWE, now out doing her own thing, got the podcast, doing the book tour and all that. Recently at a meet and greet, a fan convention, and she's doing her thing up there, people paying good money, waiting in line for that interaction, maybe get a couple questions, get those few moments, create those memories, get an autograph, pose for a photo, a little put your arm around, knock the shotgun away. Well, apparently, Paige had to put out a public service announcement to remind everybody that there is no puckering up.
Wow.
That there is no over the line contact. Apparently, a fan wanted a little kiss from Sarah.
That is kind of, I don't know, a little weird, a little creepy, a little over the
Hey,
line, a bit much.
you've worked these fan conventions on both sides of the table. Have you ever had anyone
Yeah.
pucker up for Paz Daddy?
No, nope, no, not even close. No, there's no interest there from that. But obviously, I mean, she's a gorgeous woman, but I mean, that there's a place and time for that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely not from a fan, definitely not at a meet and greet. I mean, just absolutely weird. And I don't know, like one of those things where if you're security, like, do you beat the guy up? Do you just throw him out? Like, what do you do? I'm just curious from that standpoint. I feel like you got to beat the guy up.
Just send a message. Send a message. You and I were
Yeah.
joking kind of off air. If there is something about Paige, she has that very exotic, very different look, and she has that energy about her. Now, this is not saying trying to justify, give anybody reason to do something like this, but maybe a little bit that Paige should feel flattered.
Oh, really? Wow, you're going the opposite on this. She shouldn't be creeped out. She should be flattered that the fans are.
Well, no.
interested.
Still, a great reason for concern and to be creeped out about this thing.
Okay.
But if the gentleman thought enough of her, she is of that appeal, and she is from over the drink. Isn't that kind of a very European thing to do?
But I think it's more like on the cheek, no, like the double cheek, like on the cheek, kind of thing.
I am not up to speed with my European cultures and customs, so I just don't questions out there. But on a serious note, fans, hands off at these things.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do stuff like
Don't
that.
do that. Don't do that. Have a little fun with it. But no. Hands off. Hey, and you know what? And maybe it makes sense why Mercedes had the 6-foot rule at her meeting.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's like maybe she is in the right on that one. Maybe she's not in the wrong.
Yeah, maybe she was on to something there. Speaking about on to something, big news breaking yesterday. WrestleMania apparently on the move for 2026. We got the WrestleMania is a no-go in New Orleans. That was broken actually by New Orleans, by their travel advisory or their group themselves, which sent the internet wrestling community into an uproar. What is going on? What does this mean for the grandest spectacle of them all? Our Super Bowl, our World Series, our Olympics, our NBA Finals all rolled into one. Where's it going? A lot of people panicking that the Saudis had stepped up with some big money. We did learn a few hours after the big announcement they'd be leaving New Orleans that they're going back to Vegas, going to roll the dice again. Pause. When many fans in that build to Vegas, we were kind of taken back and surprised by all the pricing and gouging. Is this WWE just wanting to, cash in those chips again? Pause.
Crazy TKO, man. You me talk about corporate greed. I know it's business, all about the money, but man, this is just crazy to me that they're doing this again after The Rock already made the announcement. New Orleans, they made a big deal about it. They had the date set and everything. And then, boom, TKO pulls out again. It's the same thing that happened with Minnesota. Now that Minnesota was getting a SummerSlam in 2026, they were supposed to get WrestleMania. Indianapolis was rumored to be getting a WrestleMania, and supposedly a deal was in place. And that gets kind of pulled and pushed to the wayside. So it's like whoever gives them the most money, they don't even care if they announced it. They'll just change it up.
I think that's really what's interesting here. Is you mentioned the other places in Indy, we know they did sign that big deal where it's rumored that one of the big events is going to be a WrestleMania. They've had their Royal Rumble. They've got some other ones coming. The Minnesota where they got Survivor Series, that was a rumor about WrestleMania, but WWE actually went to the lengths to announce the return to New Orleans and has a great history with great success in New Orleans as a big time event destination town.
Man, it's just one of those things where it doesn't matter what they announce. You can have another town go, well, we'll offer you $5 million site fee for you guys to show up here. So they'll just take it and they'll just, basically greedily and maybe some people say smartly, they just take money and move it. But, man, I don't know if Vince would have done that. Like, moved it after you already announced it. Like, that just sounds what the hell
This is something that's pretty interesting. And maybe you guys could deep dive this into the business of the business, one of your weekly shows where you guys cover all the numbers and the figures. Great listen there. But like we just saw a few weeks ago, we talked about here on the 10 count down in Miami where they put up millions just for, to put together a bid package to bring in multiple UFC, WWE events, TKO to partner up with them. Yep. My initial thought was with New Orleans, as you said, we have got big time money on the line. Contracts are already set. what does it take to get out of one of these deals? I mean, it's almost got to be ironclad impossible. Obviously, WWE knows how to do it. But to me, this is a major shaft in New Orleans. I know a lot of fans were going back to that area. It's great for tourism, where we really felt like we were getting gouged in Vegas last year.
I just one of those things where you just say, I don't know what the hell they're doing, except for obviously maybe smartly just going money grab, money grab, money grab. But to me, I don't know, like if you're a fan, you're like, yes, all right, let's plan for New Orleans next year or whatever. And then like they could change it. Let's plan for Vegas. Oh no, they might change it. Let's wait until I feel like it's just going to turn out to be a negative for them big time. And I don't know if it, charging that type of money for Vegas prices, people are going to do that 2 years in a row either. I doubt that.
It'll be interesting to see. Well, obviously Vegas they believe it's the big name, the big star. WWE, no stranger to dealing with big names and big stars. One of the recent crossovers that we've seen involved with the company, rumored, possibly already scheduled to make a return. I'm talking about your favorite. I know, hey, you got him jamming to get you hyped up before each and every show. Travis Scott. Oof. Possibly set to return to WWE, and they're talking about actual in-ring action, teaming up with John Cena during a match for the Money in the Bank card. Your thoughts there, Paz?
To be honest, I feel like this is perhaps tone deaf, perhaps insane. This is totally brutal. This is awful. Like, holy crap, man. Like, enough with this guy already. His WrestleMania appearance, arguably, and you could throw it up there, that was one of the worst finishes ever in the history of the business. Just absolutely embarrassing. The entrance, taking forever. It's just absolutely awful. Everything about it, just awful. Stinks. Tone deaf. Whatever you want to say. This is a horrible, horrible idea.
Well, you're not sold here. We've kind of got it in the bag. We've got the participation. He's been involved in this major story to at least give us some sort of payoff, something to send us a little bit home happy. We got rumor that it's going to be Scott and Cena. Obviously, on the other side, it makes complete sense. You've got to have Cody Rhodes involved there. Would you feel better for you? All right, so we've had a bad experience with Travis Scott, who comes from the music industry. What about a potential partner here? And have Cody get that comeuppance, send Travis Scott away forever for good. So, another step in direction of solidifying Cody as that ultimate baby. But to partner with Cody, could we right the wrong here, if you will, having Bad Bunny team up with Cody, someone that came in, that adapted quickly, that has shown that a great love for professional wrestling, that had fans talking positively. Could he help save this thing? And a great crossover as well.
I guess I think that might be the only guy. I mean, and I got to be honest, I was shocked how good he was. Like, you would think, like, okay, this guy, he speaks very little English, obviously super popular, but it's just like, wow, wait, does he like wrestling? Okay, he loves wrestling. He's got Booker T, he's got Flair in his song. He's like, and then you're like watching him, you're like, man, he's actually a good athlete. He's actually bigger than I thought he was. Like, he's actually really good in the ring. Like, what the hell's up with this guy? So he would probably make up for it, but he's like a million times better than Travis Scott. Travis Scott was an embarrassment.
Well, yeah, Travis Scott. I don't know if Bad Bunny creating some great memories, especially for fans.
Yes. Yeah, he was awesome.
When we talk about celebrities that have come over, not so much with Travis Scott, but Paz, we love taking those walks down memory lane. And nostalgia, and coming up this Saturday, WWE's got that big Saturday night's main event, and from so many of us, that is about that nostalgia effect. Brother, I know we came up in the meat of Saturday night's main event. Mr. Paz, what are some of your favorite Saturday night's main event memories?
Man, so many of them involve Hulk Hogan, obviously. It's just one of those things where you're like,
it's during that Hogan era, brother.
Yeah, he put that show on the map. That's kind of, obviously huge rating numbers, huge. If you go back and look, because I actually did it for the Hogan thing I'm working on, it's just like I went through every one, like the ratings are through the roof. Him versus Orndorff, almost 20 million people watching the cage.
That's one of mine.
Love that. That's definitely up there. Weird one here, and you'll probably laugh at this. Hulk Hogan versus the Genius. I love that one, and Hogan actually loses to the Genius on it. Love that. There's just there's so many good ones involving Hogan. Even just a random one like Hogan versus Honky Tonk Man. I just thought was cool. Maybe one of my favorites, Hogan and Macho Man with Buster Douglas as the special guest referee. I know they thought Mike Tyson would beat Buster Douglas, and it should have been Mike Tyson as the referee, but I love that, and to get the Buster Douglas involvement. So a lot of my favorite Saturday night's main event memories are definitely involving the Hulkster. And I know you love Hogan versus Terry Funk on one of the earlier ones.
Yeah, well, let's when we talk about Sunday night's main event, the magnitude in the moment in that era, one of the hit shows still going today. I still get a kick out of it, kind of falling off popularity, but for Saturday Night Live to actually take that time slot at certain times, unheard of, and then to produce even better numbers, bringing the wrestling fans in droves for this special. Live, bigger, larger than life singing stars. And as you said, it gave us an opportunity to see a mix and match of different stars versus Hogan that might not get that spotlight at a WrestleMania or one of the big four, the big pay-per-views back then. But as you said, one of some of my favorite memories, one of those earliest ones, inside the cage with Orndorff, and that finish, that crazy finish where they both drop and the referees are conflicted. They're split. Hogan hit first. Orndorff hit first. Who's the champion? Is Hogan retaining? Do we have a new champion? Overtime. We go to overtime in pro wrestling. They go back in the cage. Hogan gets the win. You had mentioned Hogan and Savage. Hey, that Saturday night's main event is where the handshake heard around the world, where the mega powers were officially formed. Geeking out as a little kid, right, to see those two come together.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels winning, I believe it to this day, maybe the only title change on a Saturday night's main event, but it was the first when he wins the Intercontinental Championship. Again, like in the early 90s, 92, something like that.
Yep.
Now, maybe you can help me out on this because I was having trouble finding this, and I'm almost certain it was the Terry Funk Hogan main event, but they're in Tampa. And they're doing vignettes throughout the show, and people talk about the cheesiness, the carny side, the carny side of pro wrestling. But they got all those superstars at the water park there in the day. So like, there's like Mean Gene and Hogan like mixing up a protein shake by the pool. You've got like some of the larger heavyweights, like Kamal, I think, going down a water slide. It was so cheesy. And then you got Mean Gene the whole time, like in a swimsuit, like interviewing all these guys. Do you have any memory of that? I couldn't find anything on it.
No, I don't, to be honest. No, I just in my head thinking like that's awesome and so creative and so great. But no, I don't. I literally had no recollection, no memory of it.
All right, I'm going to keep on the hunt there so I can get that stuff to you here. But
find it, show it to me. Yes, get it.
We're talking about main events of the past, Saturday night's main events of the past. We got one coming up this Saturday, just a few days away. This weekend, Memorial Day weekend here in 2025. I'm excited for this one. Big time matches on this card. Big time superstars. Big time stories being told. We got 5 big matches already announced. What are you looking forward to for this go around for Saturday night's main event?
I don't know. I'm kind of like interested in this show. I know some people probably aren't or are not a big fan, but the tag match.
I'm through the roof, baby.
Yeah, the tag match intrigued me the most with Punk and Zayn versus Rollins and Breaker. I know a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, Sami Zayn could turn," and also all this other stuff. I don't know if I necessarily see that. I can't really see him as a heel, but or maybe obviously he was a great heel of the Bloodline, but right now I can't see him with a heel with Heyman and that group. But remains to be seen. But that match is definitely what I'm looking forward to the most. Although it'd be interesting to see what they do with Cena and R-Truth, just to see like how it plays out and how it works out. I kind of always thought that would be one of Cena's final matches, just because it would be kind of funny, like Truth, he's his oldest fan, and like all this other stuff. So that could be intriguing. The cage match could be good, and obviously Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul always surprises me. He's always putting on a good show.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Go back talking about that tag match. A great history of tag matches on Saturday's main event, bringing together those different superstars and kind of developing where the stories are going. Looking for that, load it with star power. I think going back to the championship out there, it's going to be a defining moment there for Jey Uso. A great crossover for him. It's going to get a lot of coverage there. Go out there, hit some big spots, and shine moment for both of those guys.
Yep, definitely. Should be a good one.
Should be a good one. Should be a great one. A lot of pro wrestling this weekend. We've got some TNA Friday night. We got Saturday night's main event. We got NXT. We got AEW, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But actually, here on the show, we've got a run of AEW news. Starting off with representing AEW, representing the brand, some big time accomplishments, big time achievements, planting that flag, that AEW flag. right there at the top of Mount Everest, man. Mr. Darby Allin conquers the mountain, conquers the beast. He has done it. He has climbed Mount Everest. Not the first pro wrestler to do so, but certainly a great achievement. What's this mean for Darby and for AEW?
I just thought it was weird. And congrats to Darby for doing that. It's just crazy. I would never even think about doing that, but great job by him and accomplishing and doing it. But it's weird. AEW didn't like promote it or put it on the show or like mention it. I just thought that was really, really weird.
I was just as surprised as you, man. I would have made sure I had a camera crew with him this entire time, even behind the
or
scenes,
get the stuff from social media, right?
Get it over on social media. Maybe at this time, maybe you don't go, no pun intended here, all in on it. But you've got that footage in the vault ready to go, just in case something is a delay. Maybe he doesn't make it, something happens like that. You don't want to build it up and have that backfire. But especially now that it's complete, or as he's getting close to it, why aren't you running with this? This should be major headlines within your company and pushing this to outside platforms to help get that coverage, to get more eyes on your product, on your program. Again, this is another case where this company just continues to fall short as a big boy business when it comes to media, marketing, and PR. They think their move sets and they think the floor routines are over.
Strange. I don't know. To me, though, like he's got to be returning soon. He climbed Mount Everest. He'll be back soon. Like really hit it home and really pump it up. And they didn't pump it up at all. Kind of weird.
I was going to say, I was watching. Sometimes I zone out. I will admit that with AEW, but I don't recall any mentions of this this awesome feat. Congratulations, Darby. This is freaking awesome. Where's the love from your company? Especially if what we're hearing in the rumor mill is they've been waiting on this Death Rider situation for Darby to be the hero that comes and puts them down.
Yeah.
So we will see more big news coming out of AEW. We were talking about WrestleMania on the move, their big time events. Well, Elite Wrestling, not to be left out here, they came up with a big announcement for one of their marquee events of the year. Looks like AEW All Out will be heading north of the border. What do they say up there? I can't remember. That's down over there with Jimmy T in Australia. They're going to Toronto. They're going to Toronto, the city of the Maple Leafs, some maple syrup. AEW's had some good crowds in Toronto, in Canada. Very faithful there. Big time wrestling fans. What do you think about, and we've seen them go to the UK. Poz, what do you think about for All Out heading to Canada?
I think Toronto is an awesome wrestling town. I feel like that's a great spot. I know they've been there a bunch, but they always draw well there. I feel like that's, to me, usually a home run type town. You know what I mean? Like 12,000, 13,000. I mean, it's usually like a pretty hefty crowd. It's usually pretty good.
Well, I think as long as you live within those, reality of those expectations, because let's not forget, going back, WWE just had trouble going back to Elimination Chamber.
Oh, why are they doing an Elimination Chamber in a stadium, though? That was kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they had trouble moving those. That's, the rumor why they had to bring The Rock back in, or what The Rock has told us. So, we got his involvement there in the Cena turn and all that. But AEW seems to have a great following there in Canada, especially in that Toronto area. I think it is nice to take these big shows international, give it to these outside fan bases, see, and really for me, even for WWE, for other companies, it's a good marketing tool to see international travel, to see how many people will go from the States for a big event like this to go check out something. So you never know there. I think what's even more important for AEW right now is, we were talking about WWE taking Mania back to Vegas. All Elite Wrestling needs to start playing up that they want to focus on being a promotion for the people that is affordable for the people, that you can come take an amazing trip here to the beautiful city of Toronto. There's all these other things going on that you can enjoy while you're here with us, and we're going to help you put it all together, make it affordable with these tremendous travel packages that kind of just go outside of professional wrestling so you can get some cross promotion as well.
I love it. It's a great idea. Got to do it up. Smart.
Well, I said they constantly let me down on that side of this thing, but the opportunity is there. They need to jump on this, and this is where there is some cracks in the armor of WWE, TKO, all of that there that you could kind of nick away at and try to get that get those fans interested in you and grow your fan base. Pods, we're talking about big Memorial Day weekend here in the States, essentially for pro wrestling. When did Memorial Day weekend become such a pro wrestling holiday, man? We've got TNA, big event. We've got NXT. We got WWE with the Saturday night's main event special. And it come up on Sunday, a big one for AEW. It is double or nothing. We have got 2 Owen Hart Cup finals. They had just announced the Anarchy in the arena. We got some big tag team matches. The return, one of my favorites. I'm going to be glued to the TV for that one. Nigel McGuinness back in tag team action. Paz, I don't get to talk to you a lot about AEW. We try to cover it as much as we can here. But for a big event like this, especially for a big event like this, but on the regular, how are you feeling about All Elite Wrestling?
I'm like hit or miss with them. Some stuff intrigues me, some stuff interests me, some stuff doesn't. I'm interested. It's not going to be on this show. It's going to be on the following pay-per-view. But Omega versus Okada, I'm interested in that. I do love Nigel wrestling. I do like FTR, but Daniel Garcia does nothing for me. Adam Page does nothing.
That's been kind of brutal with Garcia. They opened up Collision last night with him with the mic for 15 minutes, and FTR's not doing anything, good business for themselves. But Nigel is saving that before me.
Yeah, Nigel. I love Nigel. One of my all-time favorites. He's awesome. Great, good to see him. But honestly, that show, I'm not interested. Tony Storm's beating Mina. I love Mina, but Tony Storm's winning. Mercedes is winning. Page and Ospreay is good because there's a little bit of unpredictability factor, but Adam Page does nothing for me. Love Ospreay. So, and I'm not a fan of Anarchy in the Arena. I just think it's a lame match and a lame concept, and it's corny. But I know the fans in the building love it, and I'm sure it'll come off well. But I'm not into this show pretty much at all, really, except maybe the main.
Yeah, as you talk about that main draw there, the men's finals in the Owen Hart, I know a lot of people have already anointed Ospreay. He's got to be the next one. He is winning this thing. I'm with you. It's taken me a little bit to even start to come around on Hangman because of how poor his character development and booking has been since the founding, the opening of the doors of All Elite Wrestling. But I think that there can be a case made, especially in the storytelling, where it makes sense for him to win this thing. You're going to that big stadium show, the big payoff. Who's going to take down the Death Riders? Could it be one of the pillars, one of the guys that's been there who was in the first championship match that fell short there? He has had a championship, but maybe that run didn't go as planned. Can we recapture that, redirect it, make it right? You got that cowboy going down to Texas to get rid of the the evil gang of rustlers in the Death Riders. There could be a case there. Probably Ospreay, but it is interesting. And then these guys are going to go out there and beat the hell out of each other. Should be a fun match itself. The intrigue on the ladies' side, could they shock the world? Does Mercedes go down in this thing? I don't think so. But to me, the intrigue is the immediate development going forward with her, with Mercedes and Tony Storm. Where does that lead? So this is really a 2-match show. They're going to throw a bunch of it out there. If that's the kind of wrestling you like, then you're going to be entertained by it. I'm with you also. I'm not really an Anarchy in the Arena type of guy either.
Yeah, not into that at all.
Going to give it a watch. Going to give it a follow to see what's happening there. I do enjoy the AEW product. Think they do have a lot of good things going on. I do get aggravated sometimes. I wish, especially on the business side, they get themselves in line. But certainly rooting for Tony and his team this weekend and going forward. Well, pause. We're almost up again at looking at that clock there. It is, once again, that time for our pro wrestling pop of the week. Hey, Memorial Day's about partying, man. Some good eats, some good partying, all that going on. So I got, one for me. Hey, it's about, getting out partying, having a good time, meeting some new people. It's pause. Here we go, buddy. My pop of the week. Hey, after she's had Waffle House. Yeah. Hashtag RBV eats out, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
Absolutely gonna love some good eats here this Memorial Day. Paz, love sitting down with you, brother. Maybe we'll hook up again for another episode this weekend. I know we got a lot of watch-alongs over at the Hameen Media Group. Gonna see a lot of me there. Hope everyone joins us on channel. You got anything fun going on for the holiday, brother?
Just a barbecue, as long as the weather holds up. Got a barbecue going on. So I hope it doesn't rain. We'll see.
Yeah, a lot of rain in your neck of the woods. So are you, Paz? Are you the grill master?
No, my brother-in-law actually, he's actually really good behind the grill. So yeah, hey, we usually let him control that because we want the food to turn out good, not like crap. So he's the grill master.
All right. Well, Paz is not heading to the kitchen, but he's heading back to work. Pro Wrestling Facts, thanks for joining us here on this episode of the 10 Count.